or where this wouldn't be correct, or where this wouldn't be the case, or where this wouldn't be the nature of whatever is or isn't there. And so it seems to me that it is a concept that's based on an observation of simply saying everything I know works this way, and you know what? I can't even think of how it wouldn't work this way. So it is an operator that exists in the physical reality, but it also would exist even if there wasn't a physical reality, because it's just that kind of an operator that applies to absolutely anything, whether it is or isn't.
Yeah, it might be fair to say that that this law.
It's an observation on reality, or on any reality.
Yeah, but the problem with saying that, though, is that now you've tied it to an observation, that you've tied it to...
No, the observation is my conceptualization of what I'm experiencing, but it's there.
Well,
I mean, it's
this goes beyond what you're actually experiencing. But
okay.
Anyway...
well, yeah, it does. But I'm just saying that the reason I would conceive of it is because everything I experience adheres to that. But everything that I...
that's an induction, and that's not what this is.
The concept, though, is...
The concept is our...
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is the concept is based on what I mean, I get the concept from what I observe. But then what I can realize beyond that, what can I extrapolate beyond that, is that even things I couldn't observe, anything I could possibly make up, this would apply to.
Yeah.
And so
and it applies to itself.
I think that in our minds, the concept does derive from reality, from physical reality. But that doesn't mean that it wouldn't apply to any kind of abstraction. It could.
His question, though, was about the actual thing that we're talking about. It's not a thing.
It's an observation.
Well, yes.
On something that is a quality of every single thing that is or isn't.
But it's, yes, it is a quality.
Yeah. I mean...
I don't know. We got callers waiting, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be mail that I just don't even want to look at this week. But and we'll see. Maybe Matt will be back on the show at some point to talk about something else. Maybe he won't. Maybe that was more than enough for any of us. But we've got Amy in Panama. How you doing? Thanks for waiting.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you get to talk to Tracy.
Hi. Well,
what's it for you?
Oh, sorry. You had a question for me. Go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Well, it applies to both. It could apply to both of you. I just, I saw your show. I seen your show on YouTube. Basically, it's all I've been watching this weekend. I actually live in Florida, so I can't see who else is there with you. I'm sorry.
It's me and Tracy.
Okay, Tracy.
Yeah. Hey.
Hi. Matt, you said that you have 25 or so years of experience in the church, and I was wondering if any of that was, how much of that was in childhood, like young childhood?
Well, I'm going to be 40 in February.
Oh, okay. So it was.
And to clarify, this is just a minor little point about phrasing. I was a believer for 25 years or so, roughly from around the age of 5 till a little after the age of 30. It wouldn't be fair to say I had 25 years experience in the church, because there was a period of time where I wasn't going to church at all. I was still a believer, but I wasn't going to church.
But it was something you were raised with, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I walked down the aisle at a revival when I was about 5 years old.
Okay, great. Then you can really relate. I'm in my mid-20s, and over the past few years, I've become more comfortable in my non-belief. But I was raised Christian, and my mother is Christian, and I haven't really come out to them because her suffering that she would feel for, quote, the loss of my soul, would be real suffering.
Yeah.
And I'm not comfortable with that. But mostly my question is this fear. When you get a little tipsy or get in an altered state, you ponder different things, and there's always in the back of my mind there's fear, and I know that's how they work you. That's how they get you as a child.
Yeah.
How long have you been away from it?
And I feel robbed. Basically, I feel like if I hadn't been raised in the church, I'd be able to think of things on such a deeper, more complex level. And I just wonder if this fear of I feel like I betrayed my parents and the community and things like that because I don't believe it anymore. And I just wonder, how long does this take to go away?
How long have you been out?
I haven't been out to my parents, but I've been comfortable with my non-belief for about 1 or 2 years, but I've always had this nagging fear.
Fear of what?
Just anything. You know, you'll think about, oh, well, maybe hell exists or this or that,
Right.
but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that goes away.
Yeah.
It just takes some time.
Yeah,
Because
I can't tell you how long it's going to take to go away, because and maybe for somebody it doesn't go away, and I agree, it's one of those insidious little leftovers of religion, and it's kind of like, I guess the best example that I ever came up with was when somebody asked, you know, don't you miss, you know, I mean, once upon a time I believed that when I died I was going to go to heaven, and they're like, don't you get that? And you know, that feeling. Well, I suppose perhaps I missed the feeling, but in recognizing that that feeling was caused by something that's not true, not only have I not lost something, it's not like I lost the opportunity to go to heaven, I realized that I never had the opportunity to begin with. That realization is more knowledge, which betters my life and betters my perception of reality. Everything that could have been a negative about this, the discovery that it is a negative is a positive, and it outweighs everything that was negative.
I just want to add, somebody wrote in and I just compared it to like a stray cat that I adopted. And all my cats that I've had that have been taken care of since they were kittens, they'll lay on the floor, and when I walk by, they don't move, and I have to step over them. But this cat that I picked up as a stray, if you even walk near him, he gets up and runs away like you're going to step on him or kick him. And it breaks my heart to see that, because I know that he's afraid of me, even though I would never hurt him. But whatever his past is, he's obviously afraid of being kicked or stepped on, and he moves out of the way if he sees you walking near him. So I hope one day that'll go away, because I hate to see something cringing out of fear just because it was taught that earlier. I hope one day he can realize there's nothing to fear from me. And that's the thing. It's like sometimes it just takes time to learn that, you know what, I don't have to be living in fear of these things. And when it's ingrained in you, it takes a little while to go away.
It is, and I'm also envious, because I try to live an ethical lifestyle. If I wrong somebody, that guilt stays with me so long.
Yeah.
And all these people that I know, I mean, my mother's a good person, but most of the people that I experience, I live in the Deep South and all that, they identify as Christians, and they're some of the nastiest people. And it just makes me so envious that at the end of the week, they can just go in and pray, and they don't have to feel bad about themselves.
Yeah.
It irritates me so much, because I do something and I have guilt, and they can just feel like, you know, Jesus forgave them.
Yeah.
And it's just...
And while I understand it, and your feeling, and I agree, I'm no longer envious of them. To me, it's like envying somebody who shoots up heroin to forget the pain they're going through. I don't envy them. I think that's kind of pitiful. The guilt that you feel is a good thing. It's like feeling pain is a good thing. It's what tells you to take your hand off the stove. The guilt that you feel when you wrong somebody is a good thing. It's what keeps you from doing it again. And these people who can go in and have it all absolved without any effort or work, who get to go on and feel good right away, they're the ones who are going to go out and do it again.
Yeah, I mean, people around here are very, very openly religious. I mean, we had a prayer at our work get-together, and it was so uncomfortable, and it's just,
yeah.
I just, you know, I know how their character is, and it's just,
There's a
anyway,
reason why so many Catholics walk into confession week after week confessing the same crap.
The same thing. And I'm sorry to take up your time, but what do you think about your parents? Did they have a hard time if you told them? Like, I know my mother would be devastated, and she would possibly for the rest of her life be very, very sad. And
Yeah.
I just feel like that's inflicting unnecessary pain on someone.
Yeah, I had this exact same discussion with myself over and over again for about a year. It was, I want to be honest about who I am, especially to the people that I love. I don't want to hide who I am. I don't want to be the guy who nods and smiles or keeps his mouth shut when people say something that's necessarily absurd or that I now consider to be absurd. I want to be open and honest about who I am with everybody that I care about. And yet I know that doing that is going to cause them pain. And it's pain that's probably not going to go away, because it's not like I'm going to convince my parents or the guy who was just on the phone that God doesn't exist. So is it worth hurting them in order to make me feel better? And for a year or so, I said, no, it's not.